You know when you switch transitions, you forget to turn your mic back on? Yeah, that's what happened there. Sorry about that. Should be back now. So anyway, this is Denjin Makai, the prequel to Guardians, which has been run at the Coin Op Classic in the past by Scuddy. It's a Japan-only beat-em-up release for arcades. Why is the... It should not have cursor capture. There we go. Okay, fix that. This was later released as a Super Famicom title called Ghost Chaser Densai, but I haven't put too much time into that game. I have, however, put a decent amount of time into this one since last year. This game is actually really difficult. Enemy AI in this game is honestly pretty high in terms of like just rank capability. At the same time, it's also only 1 life credits, which makes it even more absurd. But the good news is, for those who don't want to go to the top challenge just yet, there is a busted glitch that this game has that I'm going to be showing off today. Perhaps in the future I'll do non-glitch runs, but for now I like to show this off for players who might be interested in tackling it themselves. We're going to play as Belva. He's the only character that has the glitch that we're going to exploit today. If you want an analogous comparison, Belva is essentially the Hagar of the game. That was weird. Okay, got it there. So you saw me go for a pile driver. There's a very specific reason for that. In this game, when Belva grabs an enemy for a pile driver and lands it, you have iframes through the entire duration of the pile driver, and that's pretty normal. Like, I think even Hagar has iframes on his pile driver past a certain point of launch. But what's unique about Belva is the fact that they messed up his programming. You get iframes from the pile driver, yes. But the part that's glitched is the iframes last through the duration of a given room when you use the pile driver. So enemies are not going to be able to hit me. Because I dropped an enemy with a bomb, and now nothing happens to us. There are ways to break this glitch. If you pick up any item, like either of those 2 items on the ground, you lose the glitch. So we want to make sure that doesn't happen. If you grab an enemy and do anything out of that grab but a pile driver, you lose the glitch. If you do a special move, even your lariat, and hit an enemy with it, you lose the glitch. So we're now in a new room. I need to make sure I can grab a new enemy. There we go. And yeah, how this made it past testing, I'll never know. But hey, it's a thing we can do, right? Oh, I didn't want that to happen. That said, despite the fact this is completely busted, and Belva is, you know, probably top 1 character in a beat 'em up ever because of this. Not because of his design, but because of, you know, technical problems. This game is still really difficult. As I mentioned before, enemy AI is pretty high. I think it's all in 1 consistent rank, but it starts out fairly difficult. Now, of course, since we can't get hit, that's not supposed to matter. But the drama comes in the fact that, you know, we can actually lose invincibility at pretty much any given point. Just through mistakes. Like, I could grab an enemy and do something that's not a pile driver, like throw him across the room. I could kill him with a punch. I could pick up an item off the ground by mistake. You'll see me pick items off the ground sometimes, but only if it's health. That was not intelligent. I did not do that correctly. Should just grab it immediately. There we go. There is something else I'm going to take into account for this stage in particular. This stage actually features one of the primary potential run killers for this game. So this boss, once we do this transition to the boss fight, we lose invincibility if we had it. You actually cannot grab this boss. So we have to fight this boss fair and square. Or at least as fair as the game will let us. This boss has a lot of good tools for trying to beat us. He has a really good melee attack. He has a jump attack where he just leaps straight up in the air that's also completely invincible. Like, we just can't hit him out of it, and it has a hitbox the entire time. Like that right there. So the idea here is I want to try to just pin him in the corner and try to beat him. Hopefully no missiles hit us, thank goodness. He also has 2 phases, but I'm not too worried about the second phase. We can infinite him to death. Just playing safe from here. Yeah, he generally does that. That's normal. What the fudge? Okay, so that takes him out of phase 1. Then to phase 2, as long as I can keep hitting him with something, like that, he's just going to juggle himself back into the corner. We can just kill him this way. Gotta time it out. Okay, very good. Run killer down, and we did it. Yeah, they did release another ROM set that doesn't have the glitch, which, honestly, I feel like without the glitch, Belva's probably mid-tier at best. Any non-glitch runs I see of this game are actually performed with different characters. Like, unfortunately, I can't remember the names, but the female character with purple hair who wears the black outfit, like, there are actually a few pretty decent looking 1cc's of her out there. She's a really technical character and is actually really cool, but she just doesn't have some busted glitch. Maybe I'll look into it one day. If it's fun enough, I'll do it. But for now, we just get to play the broken robot. This part's pretty interesting. This bench doesn't actually spawn the enemies until you break it. And the best way to break it is just to throw an enemy on top of it. So you're gonna see me go for pile drivers a lot there. We're completely uninhibited because, as mentioned before, we're invincible. I also need to make sure I'm just doing the infinite here. Belva doesn't have a true infinite, but because you're invincible, you can just do his 3-punch string, cancel it, and then do it again. It's generally gonna get you pretty far. Bottle of gin for anyone that wants it. This part would be pretty annoying if we weren't invincible, because these things do act as landmines and they just blow up on us. I'm just trying to make sure they get triggered. Chilling. Belva does have enough reach to where his jabs are just incredibly efficient all by themselves. I'm not trying to go up too far because I don't want to grab them by mistake. Okay, cool. Onto a new room, means we have to glitch out again. You have a new enemy, the critters. Without invincibility, these guys are awful. They all have a different thing they can spit. One can spit fire, one shoots lightning. That's not good. I did not mean to grab that guy. Yeah, this could be a problem. We should be okay, but I do need to get a grab again. Okay. This could be bad. So I've never had this one in particular be a problem, but I mean, it's technically on me. I didn't want to grab that guy and punch him. Good news is there's going to be some food in that container right there, but we also don't have to get it until we clear the room of enemies. Game's nice to us like that. Punch them out. Oh yeah, Belva's punch for some reason has a really big hitbox behind his head too. I guess it's his elbow that's making contact. I'm really not sure, but it's abusable for sure. There we go. I want these rice patties, full health. Also, for anyone that recognizes that go, if you played Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, that's probably where you've heard it. Alright, I'm actually gonna do some quiet here. Zell, I've had some issues with in the past. I do have to grab him. Guess iframes? I didn't know he could iframes between the two of those, but I mean, we're set now. As you can see, Zell has a really busted wake-up attack that we'd just be getting clobbered by if we weren't invincible, but now I can just stay on him and not let him get up. Get in the corner, please. That'll do. Full health ending, not bad. Hey, it's Michael Yama, how you doing? Another thing I forgot to mention in this game has branching paths, which I don't believe was a very common thing to have in arcade beat-em-ups at the time. That wasn't good. Give me 1 second, I'll explain and drive an enemy's head to the floor. So there are 6 stages in this game. Stage 1 is always stage 1. Like, you always start the game on the exact same stage. From there, you have 2 segments of branching paths. After stage 1, you can go to stage 3 first, or you can go to stage 2 first. I actually prefer to go to stage 3 first, so that's what we just saw there with the Zell at the end. So I'm playing stage 2 now. The reason for this change is that whichever stage you go to last is gonna have more segments. I think it's only 1 more segment per stage, but there's actually a very important reason why I do it for stages 5 and 4 than I do 3 and 2. 3 and 2 is personal preference. These stages don't really change anything regardless of. But I'll explain about this branching path on stage 5 once I get there, which will be right after this stage. Come here, you. That could have been bad if I didn't do that. Sometimes you overmash. Oh yeah, you also have commandable back attacks in this game, and Belva's is ridiculous. It's a two-hitted backhand, or backhand that does 2 hits. Sorry, I can talk today. That has really good range and really good anti-air capability. Alright, this room's kind of tough. I do need to get a grab pretty quickly. These enemies are some of the more challenging in the game, I think. Did not want to dash there. Yep, that's going to cost me. I'm actually going to go ahead and grab this first aid. Okay, cool. I wasn't invincible, so grabbing the first aid was fine. But now we're back to full health, and that's good. Want to make sure I stay out of the way of those shovels, because I can pick those up, and I definitely don't want to. We're just better off using our hands here. Good night. Quick barrel rush. This would also be hard if we didn't have invincibility. I still forget what these bots are called, but I just call them frogs or toads, because that's kind of what they look like to me. With appendable hands, yes, but, you know. Quick work of that guy. Those guys don't get knocked down, so you can basically combo them into death with those dash attacks. So I can grab this guy. So mean. He was just on his break, and here comes this robot just ready to bust his life up. Same with these guys on their food break. They're just having some ramen, no big deal. Belva gives not two dams. Also scary. Not want to grab that. Sometimes I'll just go for pile drivers just to make sure I can get a hit. They're also really solid for crowd control. I thought about grabbing that, but I think it's better not to. This is also the room that you play if you go to stage 2 last, like I did in this case. Like, you wouldn't see this room if I'd gone to stage 2 first. Still love that laugh. Our boss fight is essentially a bunch of Power Rangers. Bunch of multicolors. We have to get a grab pretty quickly. And now we're set. There is a food item in the top right corner for health if we need it, but as long as I don't do anything stupid with my grab capability here, we should be fine. Oh, that's not good. I did say something stupid with grab capability, and that's exactly what I just did. Yeah, it's bad. Pretty lucky there. I'm actually still not going to get the health item. We do get some amount of health back at the end of a stage, so as long as I don't take any more damage, I should be fine. Backhand is good. I believe this is the next to last one. The purple one is the final boss of this stage. He's actually the easiest of any of them, I think. So what he'll do is, we can do anything that knocks him down, like a backhand. He'll teleport up, and then we can just move out of the way and just hit him again. You can also do a full string to do that, but I just prefer doing backhand just because it's a little bit easier. Show what full string looks like, let him land, do that, and he's gone. Alright, now that our first bit of branching paths is over, we have a bonus game. I don't believe this bonus game adds anything onto the run. You can't actually get extra lives in this game. There's no, like, additional, you know, extends or anything you can do like that. For that one, I just do the Ninja Baseball Batman method and just double tap the attack button with my fingers. Do a jump right before I collide to the wall. So here I want to go to stage 5 before I go to stage 4. Military base is crucial to start off with. Stage is also some seriously hot jams. I love this song. Go back. Couldn't remember where the first enemy spawns were here. Kind of to jog around a little bit. You can see this knee is his jumping down air. It's pretty solid. It doesn't cause knockdowns, so it's similar to how they work in Final Fight. It is a combo starter. Want to let him land so I get him comboed too. Just because it's faster. These guys are honestly no threat. They have no health. They'd be a threat if I didn't have invincibility, of course, but we're good. More stuff that would be annoying if we weren't invincible, these cars. Who wants to get sock and bottomed? The banana bunch would be a pretty decent health up if we needed it. I'm also trying to stay out of the way of it because I don't want to pick it up by mistake. I can tell they're trying to lure me to it too. It's like they know. Oh hey, that guy picked it up. Neat. I forget enemies can pick up items in this game that aren't weapons. Dropped a melon. How he turned a bunch of bananas into a melon. I'll let everybody else figure that out because I think that's really funny. Real talk, the War Knights and Killer Bees, those guys you see in the colored suits, if you're not invincible, those are some of the more difficult enemies to deal with because trying to grab them is a real chore. They have a close range combo they can do that starts with the 100 hand slap and finishes with an uppercut for knockdown. It does a lot of damage. Easy room here. We're gonna have a couple of Valkyries to deal with and some Toad bots. I'm gonna grab one of them. Now we should be good to go. See if I can do an infinite. Do the infinite string. Oh yeah, I don't need to on the bots. They don't get knocked down. I'll just bump into them. Don't want that. Also, how a robot can gain health from eating human food, like, I don't know. Seems suspect to me. Oh, hey, a magic lamp. Sorry, killer dolls. I thought they were killer bees for some reason. Blame wrestling. Stop blocking, please. You're only delaying the inevitable. There we go. Yes, pile driver per scene. It's how you gain invincibility, and once you've done it once, you don't need to do it again until the room transition. But there are ways to break it. Just try to avoid them as best you can. Oh, hey, they can't get knocked down, but it requires grenades, I guess. But as I said before, even with this completely busted glitch, this game is still not easy. If you drop it at any point, it's a struggle to get it back. And as always, as I mentioned before, this game is 1 life per credit, so it doesn't take many mistakes to lose a run. Okay, so that right there, this segment here that would occur between the last room and this room is another potential run killer, which is why I go to stage 5 first. You have to do a refight of the stage 1 boss, where there also is still nothing that you can grab, so therefore you can't gain invincibility. But if you go to stage 5 first, you just get to completely eliminate that. The more you know. I remember when Scuddy first showed me the strats for this game, I knew that was going to be an issue, but then I realized, which Scuddy did not know at the time, it's like, oh, this game has branching paths. What happens if I go to the other stage first? Live and learn. So here's our boss. His name is Blackman, and he also has a prototype version of us that he's going to be sending after us. I've never been hit with that throw in my life. I didn't know it existed until now, so this is going to be something. It's also a lot of damage. Okay. Normally what I do for Blackman is I start the fight off by going down and then up to try to chase him. And that's exactly what I did there, but that time he got me the throw. Never happened before. That damage is ridiculous. But from here, now that we got the grab on the Proto Belva, we should be good to go. He does have this invincible wake-up ground pound, but again, we're just going to keep throwing hands at him. Good to know. God, that throw was something. Did not expect. Alright, now to stage 4, which is the stage we skipped. More hot jams. The last 3 stages all have amazing tunes. Like, I'm a big fan of all of them. That's scary. I guess I don't go after the critters first. Just try to clip them all. The enemies jumping in this game is kind of annoying. Particularly because hitting an enemy out of a jump does very minimal damage, and I just want to kind of try and keep them on the ground and make sure they die. They can also jump between reps of your punch combo. Like so. Where are you going? Another quick kerfluffle of some enemies. This one's supposed to be just scarier in terms of just, like, you know, strength and numbers, but they can't hit us, so why do we care? Moving on. Oh yeah, you can also block by holding the attack button. I keep forgetting about that. I'm actually not going to open that barrel, because whatever's in it, I'm sure I don't need it. I don't know what's up with those bots and why they're not landing. This is getting kind of weird. Where are you going? There we go. Yeah, the hitboxes are something. So I'm going to avoid the critter here and go after the guy with the push broom. The deadly weapon that it is. I've done the strat where I try to go after the critter first, and the weird thing about that is the critter's not the problem. It's those dudes that fall from the sky, the ones that do, the big guys that do the splash on you. Those guys cover that area pretty well. It's a really good assist call. I'd rather just make sure that doesn't happen. So I go after the guy with the less threatening weapon and just tee off on him. What the heck? I also don't know what's in that bottle. Probably a turtle. Guessing Shredder whipped that up. I believe this is the room that would be skipped if we had gone to stage 4 first. It's a really weird room. We have to just knock walls down, which seems kind of innocuous, but, you know, here we are. Yeah, this could be bad. I went a little bit too far there. Cool, didn't get knocked down. We got to slam him, and now we're good. I'm just gonna break the wall in anticipation. Since I don't really, since I'm not really in terror of being hit by any of this, I get to just kind of just chill over here and wait for the screen to tell us to go, and then we can go. Okay. Now, even though we have enemies, we're just gonna keep moving here. Don't worry about that dumpling here in a moment. I'm gonna probably wait till I can clear the room first. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, I get you. Also not good. One thing I have learned, the most dangerous thing you can do in any given situation is to just move around. Because if you move, you might get a grab by mistake. That's what you just saw happen there 2 times in a row. You don't want that. I guess not dead. Did take away my own invincibility there, so that was weird. Yeah, as I explained earlier before you got back, Skip, with this game, you can get invincibility with a pile driver with this character only. So here we have Neptune, who we can certainly tell is a ripoff of Aquaman. Normally, he used to be pretty hard to hit right from the opening. But the last time I completed a run of this, I learned to just go up, then down, and you can generally grab him. He does have a lot of invincibility, plus he can block, so he's an annoying boss to fight, but we're just gonna get right on top of him. You're from 2 different worlds! He's invincible this whole time, and they're just shooting electricity at us all over the place, which would normally be pretty decontaminating for a robot, but doesn't matter because we're Belva. Belva's not like other bots. I get one more bonus game. This one's interesting. I don't know how they managed to incorporate whack-a-mole into a beat-em-up, but here we are. Hit everything but the innocents. Essentially, they look like a reporter. Don't hit them. They're holding a gun. Hit them. Simple logic. You also move really, really fast in this bonus game. Your walk speed and dash speed are just crazy. No, I didn't want to hit her. You only lose a point for that. I think my best here is like, I think I just timed my best with 29. Okay. So last stage is honestly to me the biggest gatekeeper, even over the stage 1 boss. There's no branching paths anymore. This is just the final stage of Central City. More hot jams. We're gonna be doing the same thing we always do, but there are gonna be some scary points, particularly with the final boss. Final boss has 3 phases. Second phase is completely free as long as you get the invincibility going in the first phase. But once the third phase starts, you actually have to grab again. And he makes that really, really hard to do. You can play around his movement and his patterns, which is exactly what I'm going to try and do. But if I get the pattern I don't recognize or a pattern that I'm not really all that familiar with, then we might be into some trouble. Anyway, until then, we're just going to be fighting enemies, cut them down. We also are going to have a couple of refights. Definitely the longest stage in the game, but it's fun. There's lots of stuff you can just get to interact with. Also features our first conveyor belt stage, which would probably be really hard without, you know, this silly thing that we're doing. There we go. I believe there were some Wonder Woman games on mobile systems, but definitely never an arcade game. I could be wrong, though. Oh yeah, another new mechanic. In this stage, when we kill some enemies like snipers or commandos, when they die, they can actually spawn War Knights. As you see right there, it's just 2 enemies in one. See, they're going for their combo there, and that makes it really easy for us to finish them off because they're not going to try and move. Go for a grab again. Just gonna wait for these bots to land. This is also our conveyor belt room. Come here. Thank you. Stop doing stuff. This segment's cute. The conveyor belt can swing in either direction. We also have these presses that can hit enemies. Oh, hey, you actually do have to grab here. I forgot about that. Yo, this might be a problem. This is a problem. Yeah, that was bad. I forgot you actually have to do another grab there. I miscounted on that. But anyway, so these enemies come at us and hit the wall, they're going to take a lot of damage, so I'm just going to let them do that. Mostly just because it's funny. I could be hitting them, but man, it's funny that they're willing to just be that aggro on you. I mentioned this game's programming has some weird quirks. Where are you going? Can't hate on battle bots. Right, down we go. On to everyone's favorite minecart level. They did manage to fit a minecart level and beat him up, which I think is glorious. That's bad. This opening segment's tough. We have to get a grab. And of course, we have to avoid grenades. Grenades are actually very useful for us because they do hit enemies. See if I can grab this, because that does refill our health a little bit. Bots are pretty easy to grab, so I didn't mind going for that attempt. I'm also going to try and get any health up that I can because we are going to need it. The most health we can have against the final boss, the better. Did pick up that ham. That was good, but then we took another hit right after that. But we still have more health than we started the segment with, so profit. What are you doing? There we go. This will take us to the final sweep before the boss. There's also some health here in the corner in this fern, which I'm going to go ahead and grab because I don't have invincibility right now. Alright, cool. That worked out. That could have gone just as bad, just because if I didn't get the hit first, I was going to be having some issues. But we're okay. Poor receptionist. She's going to have to watch all this carnage unfold. Or maybe not. Maybe she'll just hide there. The little things in this game, honestly, are what have the most charm to me. Like, the fact that, like, enemies will just be, like, eating lunch while you sneak up on them. Like, I love little stuff like that. Japanese developers have always been really cool about just little ticks and little, just like, hey, how about this kind of stuff. Another food item down here in the bottom right, but I'm going to bust the plant open, but not interact with them just yet. Not grab the slippers. Any non-food items that aren't weapons are just worth points, and they'll take away our invincibility if we pick the one up, so we don't want that. In fact, I should get away from here as quickly as I can. Okay, cool. Don't need the fries. Here's the boss suite. First little bit, we're only just going to have to deal with some basic enemies. Let that guy do his little Kano eye laser thing over in the corner like I care. Go whatever way I want here. There was a food item on the ground that I wanted to try to grab. They didn't get their combo. That was what I was most worried about. Oop, didn't mean to grab him, but we're good. When you get a grab, as long as you can remember to do a pile driver out of it, you're going to be fine. Also have another transition here. This is for our last segment of refights, and we do have to get a grab there. So what I always do is go down to make sure I can grab one of the basic enemies. Makes way more sense than trying to grab one of the bosses because they actually have, you know, defense. So we're fighting one of the Rangers again along with Neptune. With that invincibility, I can only imagine how challenging this would be, but we're just going to keep hitting until we're done. Try to get as far away from the items as I possibly could. Again, not trying to pick those up ever. Oh no! And I get to grab right after that. Lucky me. That was actually very, very lucky, and I'm not taking that for granted. Okay. So I'm going to do a quick bit of quiet time while I try to grab him out of the first form. So this is Garulian, our final boss. Word of the wise, don't fight a guy with his hands in his pocket. Grab me first, that's not good. Essentially what you want to do is try to get a whiff punish. Forget he can grab out of that. Or try to get him while he's moving. Thankfully his throw doesn't do that much damage, but I just don't want him doing it at all. So this is scary. I'm amazed his throw has, like, that kind of priority. That was just bad. Oh yeah, his dive kick and OTG too. Normally what I'm able to do it right at the start of the fight is just grab him right out of a dive kick, but I must have mistimed it or something. His kick also has really good range. Yeah, we're probably just losing the credit. This is unfortunate. Finally grab him. Now I had to perfect the final phase, no big deal. Once we've got him grabbed, it's pretty simple. Just let him get up, do this, loop him back. Real easy stuff. So he moves on to a second phase where he gains a rapier, but it doesn't matter because we're still invincible from the previous phase. Took a lot of health from us. Finish him off from here. Okay, so now he's going to go through this big transformation where he goes into his final phase. What I'm going to do is go to the very top of the screen and just hope for one of two specific patterns. Thank goodness he gave me the one I wanted. Oh my god, we might have this. So, with Perfect Garulian, what you want to have happen is you have to be able to catch him while he's moving. If he's standing still, he can essentially do whatever he wants to you. He has better grab priority, he can hit you with any number of different projectiles like a fireball super or a ring of electricity. He's a threat. But if you can catch him while he's moving, like I was able to there with that delayed walk-up, we can definitely grab him from there. If I had gone in too early, he wouldn't be able to grab me first. And that's the pattern I've been practicing the most, and what can I say, I got lucky. So I'm just gonna put him in the corner, I'm gonna keep hitting him a bunch of times. This little red ray he does is completely invincible. So we have to wait that out every time, but that's still a 1cc, and I'm amazed the game let me have that. I went for exactly what I wanted to, and it worked out, so. No gripes here, I guess. And yeah, MAME is not particularly kind to this game. The spray flicker is real, for sure. God, I can't believe I got that after that first phase. That first phase for Garulian was tragic. God, he was getting everything on me, and I finally got a lucky pile driver, and then I got a perfect phase 3. I'll take it, especially after what happened this morning with Snow Queen. Like, I'll take that back for sure. Thank you all so much for the GGs. As mentioned, I think there's a chance I may end up pursuing another 1cc in this game with a character who's not quite that glitched out, but as I showed, there's still a pretty good amount of drama for playing such a busted character, because in a game as much RNG like this one has, not everything's perfect. Anyway, I got one more game for you all, and we'll get switched over to that here soon. Stay tuned.